Dear student, hello everyone. Welcome to the computer-aided manufacturing class. Today, we will discuss the automatic programming of the stepped shaft, right end. First, let's learn how to create a turning machining coordinate system. Select Process Navigator in the Resource Bar option, and click Geometry View in the Toolbar option. Next, create the machining coordinate system. Click the Geometry View of the Operation Navigator, and double-click MCS spindle in the Process Navigator to perform the following operations. Finally, create the turning coordinate system. Next, we create the right end face machining process. Click Create Process. Select Turning for the type, and select the Facing button for the process subtype. Set the cutting strategy. Set the cutting area. Set the approach and leave in the non-moving cutting, and set the feed rate and speed, and generate the tool path. Then we create the right end rough machining process. Click Create Process. Select Turning for the type, and select the Rough Turn OD button for the process subtype. Set the cutting strategy. Set the cutting area. Set the approach and leave in the non-moving cutting, and set the feed rate and speed, and generate the tool path. Next, we create the right end finish machining process. Click Create Process. Select Turning for the type, and select the Finish Turn OD button for the process subtype. Set the cutting strategy. Set the cutting area. Set the approach and leave in the non-moving cutting, and set the feed rate and speed, and generate the tool path. Then we create the right end outer grooving machining process. Click Create Process. Select Turning for the type, and select the Groove OD button for the process subtype. Set the cutting strategy. Set the cutting area. Set the approach and leave in the non-moving cutting, and set the feed rate and speed, and generate the tool path. Finally, we create the right end outer thread machining process. Click Create Process. Select Turning for the type, and select the Thread OD button for the process subtype. Set the cutting strategy. Set the cutting area. Set the approach and leave in the non-moving cutting, and set the feed rate and speed, and generate the tool path. In this class, we have understood 1. Creating the machining coordinate system for the right end of the stepped shaft. 2. Creating the right end face machining process. 3. Creating the right end rough machining process. 4. Creating the right end finish machining process. 5. Creating the right end outer grooving machining process. 6. Creating the right end outer thread machining process. Thank you all.
Welcome to the Computer-Aided Manufacturing course. In this lesson, we will learn the automatic programming of stepped shaft, right end. First, open that right end of the stepped shaft. Open the stepped shaft. This is a stepped shaft. Set the right programming. This part. Select Operation Navigator. Click Geometric View for toolbar options. Click on the resource bar here first. Click the processing environment. This is the Process Navigator. Here is the geometric view. 1.1. Create a machining coordinate system. Click Geometry View of the Operation Navigator. Double-click MCS_ Spindle in the Process Navigator to do the following. Just double-click it here and do the following. Now let's create an operation. Click Create Operation. Select Turning as the type. Select Facing as the subtype of operation. Cut the whole part. Select the subtype of operation. Select this section. This is not well processed. These tools were created before. Create the tool and click OK. This part. Then setting cutting parameters. Set the area. Setting non-cutting movement and so on. This is a non-cutting parameter. This is the cutting parameter. Create. And then you can create. All select correctly here. Select non-cutting motion. Here's the engage and retract. Set the distance. Click OK. Set the spindle speed. Here. Setting 500 and 250 is enough. Click OK. Now to create a roughing operation for the right end face. As the same. Choose this. After selecting it, the tool here is the previously created tool selection. And so on. Cutting strategy. Setting a cutting area. Set the non-cutting movement. Approaching departure. Click OK first. Set the cutting parameters here. This is the cutting strategy. Cutting movement. Engage, retract. Just set the relevant parameters. Here, set the spindle speed. Change it back. Set rough machining. Just set 500. Click OK. This is also a rough machining process. This is cutting OD_ groove. We choose to cutting groove. Create the model in the same way. Now cutting groove. This is a grooving. Now what we're going to cut is this groove, threaded notch. Select the cutting area. The notch for cutting is selected here. Set the parameters here. Non-cutting movement. Engage and retract settings. Spindle parameter setting 50. Click OK. External thread processing. Choose this. Similarly, the feed parameters here are based on the screw hole of the thread. Choose processing here. This is the way to do it. Set cutting parameters. This is the cutting strategy. Set the non-cutting movement. Don't set the feed speed too high. The spindle speed is based on this. Click OK. The right end of the stepped shaft ends here.